What's up and good morning, guys? Welcome back to another video. So I just had a new toy show up, which is sitting right here in the box, the new Ronin SC Pro Combo. And I haven't even opened this thing yet. See if I can open it one-handed. All right, cover is off. Let's open up the greatness in here. Oh, we're stuck. All right, there we go. Look at that booger. So for all you guys that say like, Rhino, why don't you geek out on the mechanic side of life and all that type of stuff? I love tools. The world I really geek out in is anything like cinematography wise. So if you're looking at this and you have no clue what this is, I've got my gimbal over here, which basically when I attach my camera to it, all those servo motors in here keep the camera level no matter how you move the handle or anything like that. So when these first came out, like at a consumer affordable level, they looked just like this. And that's really large and you can't set it down. Well, it's attached to the stand. You can't set it down anywhere without having the stand with you. So now you gotta carry this big old stand. So anytime we're at like truck shows and events, I gotta carry either that stand or I gotta go out for like an hour at a time holding the gimbal with my big camera on it. It gets heavy. So the next generation of that is the gimbals that are on a pole, which basically you can kind of see how that works here. I had ordered one from DJI, but if you guys remember, I actually recently sold it because literally the night that I ordered it, the next morning they released this version of it. And what I like about the newer version is it is actually smaller, it's lighter, and one of the big issues with these things, especially when we're doing a lot of traveling, is all these joints right here are attached to servo motors and you don't want to beat these up. The new upgrade here is they put locks on every single joint. So now all these joints have locks on them, which means I could like essentially throw this in a backpack. While we're at an event like Sema coming up, luckily that's why I wanted to get this in time. So you can see just how compact this is compared to the giant one over there. And the best part about it is these feet fold out into a nice stand so you can actually set the thing down.
Whether recognizing loved ones, recalling past joys, or just remembering how to walk.
Remember when there were no MP3s but CDs? Didn't care about germs, no concern of disease. Street lights came on, we high-fived and we leave. Back in the days it wasn't so hard to believe that I would wake up as the Black Power Ranger.
So let's talk about the old Sema Tahoe here, and I'm gonna say Sema Tahoe a lot because it really seems to offend some people, and it seems like it's drawn up a little bit of controversy. And you guys know I ain't afraid to hit that stuff head on. But first we gotta jump in. We're gonna take it to the alignment shop today because, well, it hasn't been aligned since the lowering kit's been put on it and the new wheels and tires. So I found a shop that isn't gonna scratch our wheels, hopefully, fingers crossed. So let's run it over there right now because yeah, we're a little late. I can't believe I'm actually gonna say this, but this thing doesn't ride bad, like at all. I drive these roads many times a week. I know how crappy these roads are that we're on right now, and the ride's super smooth. Well done, McGoys, on your 2.3 drop kit, even on 26s with some rubber band tires. Like, I thought the ride was just gonna be miserable. This is not bad, and this is not even aligned. So I imagine if we align it, it'll probably be even just a little bit better, or maybe it'll make it worse. Well, we are here at True Line Alignments. These guys came heavily recommended from Zach. I believe they do all their alignments the old school way. So let's see if they can get the Tahoe aligned. So you guys can see their shop doesn't have all the like new school alignment racks with all the lasers and all that. Everything they do is hand calced by like a caster and camber gauge that they literally attach to a flat bar on the tire. So they actually just had to cut one big enough for a 26 right now. Then they're gonna attach the gauge to it and they do it all manual. Well, crap guys, I think I found a sweet alignment shop. I just literally sat down, and then by the time I sat down, they were pulling the Tahoe out and they're like, yeah, we just had to make a little bit of an adjustment here and the thing's super straight and rides great. So that's good to know. I mean, the McGoys kit, like I said, again, I can't say enough good things about that kit. The ride so far has been awesome. It didn't throw the alignment all kinds of crazy out of whack. All right, well, let's get down to business now that the Tahoe is back from the alignment shop. So, Sema Tahoe. Told you guys I'm gonna say that a lot in this video. And for those of you that like wanna start YouTube channels or Instagram pages or anything like that, here's a little bit of advice. Everybody likes to focus on the negative comments, but if you look in the grand scheme of things, so let's say, you know, the last Tahoe video, day one had 50-something thousand views. So out of 50,000 people that watched it, you had, let's say, 30 people that were talking crap. So out of 50,000 people, 30 people ain't that bad. Now, mind you, some people probably don't like it, but they don't say nothing. And then a lot of you guys actually kind of go in there and set the record straight a lot in the comment section. And I do appreciate you guys that do that. So why the Tahoe build? Why did I do it the way that I did it? Why did we spend what we spent, and what did we spend? That's what I want to get into in this video. So if you guys remember when we got this Tahoe for my mom. She's got a grandkid now. No, it's not my kid. And so she wanted something bigger that she could put the grandkid in, and it was safer. So we got her a Tahoe. And then I'm like, you know what would be cool for the channel would be throwing a little mild lift on the Tahoe, maybe like a 4-inch lift on some 33s, possibly a 6-inch lift on some 35s. So I ran the idea by my mom. She's like, yeah, that'd be cool. As long as you don't go too crazy. Like, I wouldn't mind a little lift on the Tahoe. I think it would look good. So that was my original plan for the Tahoe. Now, fast forward a couple of months. The Tahoe has been driven barely by my mom. She's got a smaller vehicle that I think she likes to drive a little bit better, and she didn't want anybody to like door ding her brand new Tahoe. So she didn't really drive it much. Then I saw on Instagram, SR Designs, you guys know that's who I roll with to Sema every year. I say every year, but I've only been there 1 year. But SR Designs put out a post saying, hey, we got a company that's looking for a Tahoe for their booth. So I'm like, well, we've got a Tahoe that's sitting. It's not being driven. How crazy of a Tahoe do they want? Because obviously I'm not going to do a full build like I did on the Denali and then be like, here, Mom, now you got to drive this ridiculous Tahoe, and good luck. You're not going to fit in any parking lots or any drive-thrus. So I reached out to SR Designs and I was like, hey, man, how crazy of a build are we talking here? And he's like, actually not crazy at all. It's going to be for Anzo lighting, and they want something very simple to be in their booth. And I'm like, dude, perfect. I'm thinking about doing like a 4 to 6 inch lift, some 33s to 35s. And he's like, pump the brakes there a little bit. Actually, they want something lowered. We've never done lowered. Lowered's kind of cheaper than lifted. Like, I'm not against that idea. I think lowered Tahoes look cool. Like, I think that'd be an okay thing. And he's like, well, let me present it to him as lifted or lowered. So he reached out to Anzo, said, hey, we've got a Tahoe. It can either be lifted 4 to 6 inches, or it can be lowered like you guys are asking for. And they said, no, we want a mild lower Tahoe with a 2-3 drop. So I'm like, okay. I had no clue what a 2-3 drop is because I've never lowered anything in my life. So I'm like, well, that doesn't sound too crazy. Like, let's just do that. So I ran it by my mom and I'm like, hey, is it cool if we lower the Tahoe? And then eventually we'll probably just end up lifting it. She's like, yeah, no, I don't care. Like, lower it as long as you can undo what you did, or I might like it. So then the planning process began. And I was supposed to have a rendering done, and that never ended up happening. So I decided, well, we're just gonna start ordering parts. And I knew right off the bat I wanted to go with the McGoy's 2-3 drop kit because me and McGoy's have been talking for a long time, and we really wanted to work together on something. And this was kind of the ideal opportunity to work with McGoy's. So mind you, like, the whole goal was to keep this thing simple because number one, Anzo wanted something simple, and then I can come back from Sema, hand the keys to my mom and be like, hey, drive this for a while. Like, it's drivable, it's usable. So what did I end up spending on this thing? Well, it's probably safe to say I've spent the least amount on any vehicle going to Sema this year. And I'm not just gonna like brag about free parts or anything like that, because if you guys want free parts, you know, companies don't just hand it out. You gotta put in the work on social media, Instagram, YouTube, whatever it may be, to even get them to wanna have a conversation with you. Then you gotta sign all kinds of contracts and promise a bunch of stuff. So there's a lot of work into even free parts, but let's just go over what I got for free, what I paid for. So we'll start from the top, work our way down. This wrap I did not get for free. I did not get sponsored. This wrap cost me $1,200 to wrap the entire Tahoe. Well, I say entire Tahoe, but from there down. And then everybody's like, oh, you did a half a wrap. I'm like, well, yeah, if I would have wrapped the whole thing all the way down, I might as well have just bought a black Tahoe. So yeah, the half wrap stands out a little better than a full wrap. Then obviously we're going to be in Anzo's booth. So all the Anzo lights were provided for us. The K&N intake was sponsored. That was sent to us. The 2-3 drop from McGoy's was also sent to us, minus I had to pay shipping. And then Status Wheels was also gracious enough to send us a set of 26-inch wheels. And coming down to the tires, you know, I went in expecting to pay for these things, and then Courtney Tire was generous enough to just say, you know what, just take them. I respect what you do. I watched some of the YouTube videos, and yeah, they're yours. So yes, I did get a lot of free stuff for the Tahoe, but mind you, even if you totaled up all the free stuff, we're still not in it that deep, which is good. That was kind of my plan, because last year I spent like triple my budget what I thought I was gonna spend to go to Sema on my Denali build. So this year I wasn't even gonna take a vehicle. This was gonna be like my year off, recoup some money. I was gonna go to Sema, I was still gonna film, but we weren't really gonna have a vehicle. So honestly, this opportunity coming up, even though yes, it's not my Denali, it's not the craziest build in the world, it still gets us a vehicle to bring to Sema. And when you have a vehicle to bring to Sema, you get to do a little bit more behind the scenes stuff, which works out really well for the channel and for you guys. So let's do a little math for a second. We've got the wrap for $1,200. We've got installation of the lowering kit. We have paint on the grill 400 bucks. There's like a miscellaneous $80 there in lug nuts. The alignment was $90. Tint was 180 bucks. And then we'll put $300 in there for miscellaneous labor. I don't really remember. And my handy dandy calculator says $2,720 is what we spent on the Tahoe. Obviously not including the cost of the Tahoe, because no, that wasn't free. Now, to everybody that gets butthurt about me calling it a Sema Tahoe, saying that is not a Sema quality build, what are you talking about? I think a lot of people have a distorted image of what Sema is. Sema's not like a competitive show per se. There might be like a small little competition going on. I know Jack's doing a lot of like the Young Guns thing, but there's kind of like inter-competition type stuff going on, but it's not so much like the truck shows that we go to where, you know, there's a first place, best lifted, best lowered, all that stuff. Like, that's not exactly what Sema is. The reason Sema's not open to the public is because Sema's a trade show. So basically companies are going there, marketing their new product. So when Johnny Shop Owner comes walking by the Anzo booth, he's gonna be like, oh man, let's see, what do you guys got new? And they'll be like, well, we just came out with these new lights for the 2019 Tahoe. And then the reason we built this Tahoe is so that the guy in the booth can be like right there, those are the 2019 Tahoe lights that we just released. And the guy can be like, oh, I can visually see those on a vehicle that is within reach of what my customers can buy, because like I said, I don't have a whole lot of money in it. Even if I paid full price for everything, there's still not that much money into this thing. Like, this is something that most people can afford, whereas like the Denali, most people aren't gonna spend that amount of money on a vehicle. So if you go to Sema and you walk around, you're gonna come up on like a booth that sells toolboxes for your truck bed. They're not gonna have a truck like my Denali there with a toolbox in the bed. They're gonna have a very, very stock looking truck, maybe a little bit of wheels and tires on it, maybe a small lift, but they want it to look like the working man's truck, because that's who they're marketing their toolboxes to. So when Anzo decided what they wanted for the Tahoe, they wanted it to be a little more street, but they wanted it to be simple, something that, you know, most people can afford and are willing to do to their vehicle. And then that's the best way to show off their product, versus something that is so godly overdone, like my truck, to where you're not gonna focus on just the lights because, well, there's 10,000 other things to look at. So hopefully you guys kind of understand like the marketing side of things and why they wanted something so simple. So to me, I love the way the Tahoe turned out. And, you know, I hate to make videos where we focus on like having to correct the negative comments and all that stuff, but sometimes we gotta do what we gotta do. So if the Tahoe's not your thing, it's not your thing. Is it a Sema Tahoe? Absolutely. Because in a couple of weeks, it's hopefully gonna get loaded on a trailer. We're gonna arrive in beautiful Las Vegas. We're gonna pull up to the convention center. There's gonna be some confusion as to where we go because well, that's probably inevitable. We're eventually gonna find out where we're going. We're gonna drive up this ramp, assuming we're on the second floor. I don't really know where we're at. We're gonna pull the Tahoe into the convention center. We're gonna find the Anzo booth. We're gonna park it in the Anzo booth, and then it's a Sema Tahoe. I hate to break it to you. For the naysayers out there, are there like insanely over-the-top done custom builds? I mean, is somebody gonna take a Tahoe, make it a two-door, cut the back off, make it look like an old Blazer or something? Absolutely. And typically the people that are doing that are in the automotive industry, and they're showcasing the type of fab work that they can do, or they're showcasing the type of body work they can do. Anzo wants to showcase the lights that they built, so that's what we did. So if you're butthurt that this is what we're taking to Sema, well, tough luck for you, because this is what we're taking to Sema. And again, I only spent 2,700 bucks. And you know, honestly, I think there's something cool to the fact that we were able to spend so little. We were able to get a booth in Sema. And hopefully if you're out there and you ever want to build a vehicle, take a vehicle to Sema, like all it takes is getting the right connections, getting in with the right people, and then striking when you see an opportunity. Oh, and everybody that's brought up the badging on the side, all of this is going to be getting removed. Even like painting it black or putting black badging on, I just think on like Chevy vehicles, the badging just stands out weird. Like, it's not really integrated into the panel. Now, it's nicer than the AutoZone stick-on letters you can buy, but it's like kind of in the same ballpark. So the Tahoe badging will be coming off on the side, and then the Tahoe badging on the tailgate as well will be going away, and so will the Z71. But this is pretty much it. This is done. Other than putting the sponsorship decals on the back window, which I don't even think I'm gonna film, because I'm just gonna come in here one day and kind of geek out on getting the placement right and having to make all the decals and having to take all the logos. Like, it's gonna take a minute. But like I said earlier, like, I don't really like addressing a few negative comments in videos, but there just seemed to be like some people's mental block and confusion was getting a little crazy. I figured, all right, we'll make a video, we'll clarify everything, and hopefully this video did just that. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have not subscribed already, please click the subscribe button now that way you do not miss out on any future content. Don't forget to give this video a like and hit a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out workforapparel.com, because if there's anything you want in this life, you gotta be willing to work for it. Yes, even to get sponsorships, you gotta work for it. You guys are the best. I'm out.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah.